Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm well, and yourself?
Fantastic. I'll be even better if my computer goes a little faster. I don't know what the deal is lately. Have you noticed it's been going really slow? Is yours too, or is it just me?
Mine seems to
Maybe
be
I
fine.
need to reboot this thing once in a while. Or just boot it. I think that's the other thing I could do. Hey, coming up later in the program, we do have Dear John Letters, and I got a great one for today. If you happen to be married and have ever gone to a class reunion, you're going to love this one because it has to do with that. It kind of, when I was reading this, it reminded me a little bit of us because I dragged you to my class reunion a couple years ago. She did not want to go, but she went. Anyway, that's kind of what our Dear John Letter is about. If you would like to chime in with your advice, by the way, you can do that anytime you'd like at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Here's our thought for today, our quote from Aristotle. He says, "It's during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light." I love that.
That's deep.
It is deep. It's like Aristotle deep. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. If you have a dog, listen to this. FreshPatch.com is a subscription service that will send you a box with a fresh patch of grass for your dog to use for a few weeks. Then they send you a new fresh patch and you discard the old one. You can throw it in the trash, use it for compost, or even put it in your yard and it'll grow into the ground. FreshPatch.com has thousands of happy dog families who love this concept, especially in the colder months. Try it now for a little less. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, the 11th day of October. Today is International Day of the Girl Child. So if you're a girl child, today's your day. National Sausage Pizza Day. I didn't know sausage pizza needed its own day, but today is the day for it.
I like sausage pizza. Sausage and green peppers. It's my favorite.
Ah, yeah, you do like that. National Coming Out Day and General Pulaski Memorial Day. So all of these things happening on this, the 11th day of October. Radio. It's a pretty amazing marketing tool. But like many tools, it works best when used properly. Like, let's take this weed whacker. I could use this to trim my hair. Yikes. Hope that grows back. But that's not what weed whackers are for. Tools work much better when you use them for their proper use, just like radio. If you want help making radio work better for your business, that's our business. RadioReallyWorks.com. Get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com. Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? And this is where Heidi has to guess if this facility that we're talking about is a rehab center facility or if it's a golf course facility. And we're going to get a little help from a PGA pro again. We haven't done that for a few days, so I'm going to get some help. Rimrock Trails, Prineville, Oregon.
This is Jay Haas. Heidi, is it a golf course or is it a rehab center?
I'm going to say rehab center.
It is a rehab center. Good job. All this cheating is paid off.
There's
Heidi.
not really trails on a golf course. So.
Although there are. Yeah, you could go off on a trail, especially if you golf like I do. A big thank you to our PGA pro who helped us today. And if you happen to know a PGA pro that would like to be involved, have them reach out. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. TimeForRehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com. And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Every day at this time, we talk about people who do silly things under the influence, but we need you to understand, addiction is no laughing matter. If you or somebody you know needs help, you can learn more at TimeForRehab.com. A 20-year-old student was arrested at an apartment complex with 3 felony counts related to illegal drug distribution. And this is the silly part. He was posting videos on social media advertising the sale of drugs.
Oh, yeah, that's smart.
He had illegally imported them through Canada as an international mail parcel, so he got in trouble for that, too. In addition to his arrest, the agents seized approximately 7,000 Xanax pills with a street value of over $100,000. The investigation began when he was posting stuff online. And they said they even started before that when they got 2 giant parcels containing Xanax pills that were coming in.
Is Xanax just an antidepressant?
I don't know. I've never used it. I have no idea what it is. But it's a bad idea. And this is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. CNN reporter Caitlin Collins was in trouble last week. She issued apologies for a series of old tweets that contained homosexual slurs. They reported it on CNN this way. Oh, they didn't. Never mind. Cat Williams was arrested for assault after he punched a limo driver who refused to take him and his dog from the airport to the performance in the city of Portland. So
Who's Cat Williams?
He's a comedian. But you don't punch anybody. That's a bad idea. Mark Anthony's ex-maid is suing him for $500,000 in unpaid wages, which tells me I need to get a job as a maid.
Why would he not be paying his
I have no
maid?
idea. So I don't know if he was paying her but not paying her enough, or I have no idea. But $500,000 in unpaid
And
wages.
why did she stick around $500,000 worth?
I have no idea, and I don't know how long she was the maid. But I'm just saying that sounds like a pretty good chunk of change that's coming. So this has been Big Screen, Little Screen. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Radio. It's a pretty amazing marketing tool. But like many tools, it works best when used properly. Like, let's take this weed whacker. I could use this to trim my hair. Yikes. Hope that grows back. But that's not what weed whackers are for. Tools work much better when you use them for their proper use, just like radio. If you want help making radio work better for your business, that's our business. RadioReallyWorks.com. Get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com. Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by FreshPatch.com. Promo code radio. A new study found that drinking 1 glass of wine per day can lead to an early death, which means Heidi should be dead in 3,
No.
2.
I agree with that. That's why I drink 4 or 5.
No, that is not what they're talking about here. That is a bad plan. And I have to apologize to Heidi right now, not only for just giving her a bunch of guff on that, but I had my ringer turned up on my phone.
I know. You always yell at me if my phone goes off, and here you are.
Here it did. So, by the way, thanks for tweeting me, Bill. Over here, a new survey found that over 31 million people will be dressing their pets on Halloween. Do we do that?
No.
We haven't done that in years.
We did.
They
Our
didn't
dogs
like it.
did not like it, so
They
we
were-
quit putting them through that.
We put them on, the outfit on them. We're like, it's so adorable.
Trying to take them
picture.
for a walk, and they're basically just rubbing their bodies against the cement, trying to get the thing off. So it's
Take
like,
a picture
yeah,
quick
okay.
before they wiggle that costume off.
Yeah, they didn't like it.
It was not good. Comic-Con took over New York City last weekend with over 1 million people attending the opening events. That's a lot of people. 1 million people. Mothers' basements everywhere were vacant.
Right?
So, I'm just teasing.
They finally got to clean up in the downstairs.
I'm just teasing. I know that there is at least one person right now that wasn't happy about that joke, but it's just a joke, and I'm just teasing
and you
you.
need to relax.
Yeah,
Tell
it's
your
just
mom to unbunch your panties.
Would you stop it? Now you're going too far. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk launched a satellite into space early this week. It was able to land the rocket on solid ground at its California launch site. There were people who were getting video of this in the sky thinking it was a UFO. And they're like, no, it's just Elon Musk. A survey by Munchery Delivery Service. I've never heard of that before.
Me either.
They found the average parent gets only 32 minutes of free time per day.
Didn't we talk about this yesterday?
I don't think so. I think that was a
Maybe
different
that was
survey.
a different survey.
Yeah. So, and I don't remember what they said. Did they say 32? I was
I
thinking
don't
that was
remember
only
how
23
many.
minutes. So apparently one survey had a little more time than the other. I think it's going to be different depending on who you ask and who sits there and counts every second they have available to them.
And it depends on how old your kids are.
Yeah.
Because you get more free time as your kids get older. So
Nobody knows. If you asked me how much exercise do I get, I might say none. But then if you went through and started looking at all the things that I do, they would say, well, that could be considered exercise. And this could be considered exercise. So when they're asking you a question like this,
probably not.
I just used that
But
as an
it
example.
could be.
That was a vague example. I didn't want to use the how much free time do you have because Heidi would point out I probably have a lot. Otherwise, I wouldn't be on Facebook so much. And finally, a study by the American Society for Reproductive Medicine found that humans are facing extinction if the male sperm count continues to fall at the level that it is falling. So I wonder what's leading to that. That's kind of crazy. So, I don't know. Anyway, there's a link to the story if you have some interest in that. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. Timeforrehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com. And it's time right now for Dear John Letters. Dear John, this summer I went to my class reunion. My wife didn't want to go with me, but I dragged her along. She didn't really know anyone, but she met some people I went to school with, and some of them even friended her on Facebook. It's been a few months now, and I didn't realize it, but she's been chatting with a guy I went to school with quite a bit on Facebook. She deletes her messages, so I have no idea what they've talked about. But last week, he sent her flowers at work.
Ooh.
She didn't tell me about it at all. Sadly, I found out when one of her coworkers mentioned it. She thought I had sent them, so she was like complimenting, "Oh, I love the flowers." I was not happy to hear that she's been keeping this from me. She says nothing has happened. She says until the flowers arrived, she didn't even know that he liked her that way. I asked her to unfriend him. I think it's a bad idea to lead him on if she is truly happy with me. One of her friends, though, is saying that I am being insecure. Do you see it that way? Please,
I don't see it that way.
Let me know your thoughts. She loves your show, and I think she will listen to your advice. Since I asked, I will agree no matter what you say. Signed, Wondering Husband. Well, first of all, thank you for sending the letter. Second of all, thank you to your wife for loving the show. We appreciate that a lot. And I think that's pretty cool. He's saying he's going to take our advice no matter what. Should we give him all kinds of
pressure?
Should we give him a lot of weird advice? No, we wouldn't do that.
She needs to unfriend him
I think so,
immediately
too.
and cut all ties.
Husband, listen for a second. You put her in a situation where you dragged her to this reunion, and she met people, which is cool. If they friended her, I don't see anything wrong with her.
No.
And if she didn't know up until just recently that that's what this guy was interested in,
I
it was
find that
still
hard to believe,
But it was
but
still
whatever.
very innocent. If you are chatting and sharing things back and forth, now here's my question: you say that
Here's
she,
the thing. Guys don't give flowers unless there's something else going on.
but no, there are guys who give flowers hoping that something else will go on. So, but here's my question. You say she deletes her messages, so I have no idea what they've talked about. Does she delete all of her messages or just the ones from him? Because if she's only deleting the messages that he sent, now that's a red flag. But if she deletes all the messages, I just, I don't. I have every message anyone has ever sent me.
Yeah, I don't. I delete my messages as they come in, other than the ones from like you and Troy and Taylor.
So, but for me,
But see, look, I mean, that's all the messages I have in my phone.
so it wouldn't be unusual for you to delete a
No.
message that some guy I went to school with sent you.
No, but I would always show you if something,
Yeah.
and I've gotten things
Yep.
from people. I'm like, you need to see this. Look
I
what
think
just got sent to me.
even from a guy I went to school with that you met at our reunion. I think did that really happen?
There were a few.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever, because he sent a message, and it was borderline inappropriate. It wasn't like flat out inappropriate, but it was borderline. And you're like,
Yeah.
how well do you know this guy? I was like, I don't know. Went to school with him. Were you guys friends? No, not really. Like,
Yeah.
and I even said, do you want me to say something to him? Because I will if you're uncomfortable with whatever he said. And it just kind of went away on its own.
Yeah.
But he didn't send her flowers. Here's what I would say to the wife of Wondering Husband.
Cut all ties.
Yeah, I would just unfriend the guy. It's not like you know him and you've known him
Right.
for years. You met him at a reunion last summer or this
Right.
summer or whenever it was. If he was saying, I want you to unfriend somebody that you've known that's been a family friend for years, that's a whole different thing. But you don't even really know this guy.
Right.
You met this person at a class reunion
And
that
it's
wasn't even your
creating
class.
tension in your marriage, and you need to unfriend him.
Anything that is going to cause a problem in a marriage that is unhealthy. My beautiful bride and I have been married going on 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've known each other over 19 years now. And I can tell you right now, if I do something that makes her uncomfortable, I quit doing that because it's a bad idea to keep doing that. That's how
exactly
divorces
right.
happen. If you know that what you're doing is wrong, which you did, you knew it was wrong.
Well, that's why you didn't tell your husband you got the flowers. You knew it was wrong.
But you should have. You should have said, hey, I just need to let you know. I don't know how well you know this
Yeah.
guy, but we became friends on Facebook.
That's what tells me she knew that there was more to it than that. Because if she thought everything was all innocent, and then all of a sudden she gets flowers, she would have said to her husband, "Hey, did you know this guy's sending me flowers?"
Yeah, I just think it's kind of a weird deal. But I'm hoping everything was innocent, like she said, and let's just hope and pray that's the case. Forgive her, move on. Do you agree with that? For everybody, just move forward, but unfriend the
only
dude.
if she cuts all ties.
Ask her to unfriend the dude. No, you're not being insecure. You're being a good husband. and she's being a good wife if she does that. And if the friend is saying that's insecure, not a good friend. I think that's kind of scary. So that is my advice. You don't have to listen to it, but you said you would, so there you go. Forgive your wife and move forward and live happily ever after. And thank you for listening. This has been a Dear John letter. You can submit your Dear John letter through our Facebook page or through our website. You can chime in with your advice on our Facebook page, by the way. This is posted early squirrely this morning. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
For a brief time, Melbourne had the best name on the planet, Batmania. That's what they called Melbourne, Australia, before it was Melbourne. Batmania, Australia.
Does that mean there's lots of bats? They must have a lot of bats.
Apparently,
if that's what they called
I don't know. I like Batmania. Isn't that a cool? I think their tourism would be
I
higher.
would not go there.
Oh, people would go there looking for Batman. Batmania. That's a cool name.
I would assume, I wouldn't even think of Batman. I would assume it's full of bats,
Yeah,
and I
that's probably
wouldn't
what
want
it
to be
was.
walking
I'm
around
sure
there.
when they named it, Batman didn't exist yet, so I'm sure that it was because of bats. But Melbourne, yeah, it's a good name too. It's okay. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show and our fun fact for today. If you have a dog, listen to this. FreshPatch.com is a subscription service that will send you a box with a fresh patch of grass for your dog to use for a few weeks. Then they send you a new fresh patch and you discard the old one. You can throw it in the trash, use it for compost, or even put it in your yard and it'll grow into the ground. FreshPatch.com has thousands of happy dog families who love this concept, especially in the colder months. Try it now for a little less. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO. Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and today's word is dysphoria. Dysphoria. What do you think dysphoria means, Heidi? It's fun to say.
Is it a phobia of being disorganized?
Oh, not quite. It is a state of unease or generalization dissatisfaction with life. Also, kind of like somebody's got a case of the Mondays. It's just that's dysphoria.
Okay.
A case of the Mondays would be dysphoria. If you're like, I just don't feel like doing anything. I mean, I'm just not feeling it today, Heidi. I have a little case of dysphoria. If you use that when you call in to the office, like not feeling it, just call and say, don't say I got a case of the Mondays. I mean, you're still going in. But if you call and say, yeah, I came down with a real bad case of dysphoria. I don't want it to spread to everyone else in the office, so I'm going to need an excused day from work today. Try that and get back to us.
Until they
and let us know
really quick Google on their phone what dysphoria means, and then you don't have a job.
Dysphoria, for those of you in HR. Dysphoria. That is today's grandiloquent word. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. Timeforrehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com. Now some weird news for you on this Thursday. A Michigan man, curious about a rock he used for decades as a doorstop, now found out it's worth $100,000.
Holy cow.
It's about a 23-pound hunk of iron and nickel. It's the 6th largest meteorite found in Michigan. The Smithsonian Museum and Central Michigan University are the ones that did the valuation. David Marzik said he took this doorstop to the university for examination after seeing reports in January that little pieces of meteorites were selling for thousands of dollars. And he said, wait a minute, I wonder how much mine is worth. Now, he had his for a long time now. He got it in 1988. It was in a barn. And the farmer sold it to him way back then. The farmer said, well, it landed in my backyard in the 1930s.
Wow.
They heard a big boom in the backyard. They went out there, and there was a hole, so they dug through the hole and found this 6th largest meteorite ever found in the state of Michigan.
Does it say how much he paid for it way back?
It does not say.
That'd be
I
interesting
think that
to know.
it came with the barn. Yeah, it came with the barn that he bought in 1988.
Oh, so he bought the barn
He
and
bought the
found it
barn.
in the-
And they're like,
Okay.
you can have it. I'm not going to move that thing. $100,000 is what it's worth.
Wow.
And there's already a couple of people that are considering purchasing it. They're talking about where they might put this meteorite. Pretty cool. I've got a link to the story. Thank you, by the way, to Richard for sharing that. It's in our show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. Police arrested a 38-year-old April Kulnick along with Cody Golfwaffa, something or other, on burglary charges. And they also have contributing to the delinquency of a minor because they took their 13-year-old son with them on a crime spree. Mom said, or the kid said, yeah, Mom's taking me on multiple crime sprees.
Wow.
It's not just one. Another time they were looking for bullets for a gun. Another time they were looking for clothing. He said they've done hundreds of burglaries. They stopped. He says that he stopped going with her when he realized what he was doing was wrong. Mom is now in custody. Officials with the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office say the child's how they got caught was a child's doll led them to a major burglary ring. So they stole the wrong thing. They stole a doll. Thousands of dollars worth of stolen items found at her home.
Gosh.
But it all happened because of one doll. They're like, hey, that right there, that's a stolen doll.
If you
We know
want
it
to be
is.
a loser yourself, that's
Don't do it.
totally
Don't
fine.
do
Just
it.
don't drag your kids into
Bad
it.
idea. Bad idea. And that will help you land right here in the moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
John and Heidi.
Time now for Fake News or Florida. Ready for a story, Heidi?
Absolutely.
I've covered the screen, so
Always.
good luck to you now.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know, I just kind of feel like you get these
No matter
right.
what, I got a 50-50 shot.
A story here. It's either fake news made up just to fool Heidi, or it's a real story from the great state of Florida. Heidi has to guess. Play along at home. It's a lot of fun, especially if there's multiple people around so you can let them know how smart you are or how wrong you are. Fake news or Florida. A Tampa man was arrested after punching his daughter's teacher at a back-to-school night. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say, I'd like to think it was Florida, but I'm going to say fake news.
It is fake news. Why would you like to think that was Florida? You'd like
Because
to...
there have been some teachers I would have liked to have
Heidi,
sucked.
come on. You would not. She's just trying to act tough.
I have walked out very disgruntled
Oh, yeah.
from many of them. One in particular.
I remember a fourth grade teacher. You probably would have.
That's what I'm
It was
saying.
crazy. Everybody failed her class. All these kids that are on honor roll everywhere else, and they're all failing that one.
And they all had
student.
ADD. They all had selective ADD in
and
just one
That
class.
was her last year of teaching, by the way. I thought Heidi was going to end her that night. That was bad. I was like, oh, man, I wouldn't want to be that teacher. All right, this has been another episode of Fake News or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of Odiva, the monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All the details at radiosavings.com. Simon Cowell. Now, he gets in the news quite often for being a little grumpy. Mm-hmm. He gets in the news for not being such a nice guy because he'll say, I think it was awful. You know, he's a judge on one of them shows. I don't even know which one, sadly. It was American Idol or something, wasn't it? And then it's the X Factor, or I don't know. Whichever one he's on.
I don't know what he was on.
He
American Idol or America's Got Talent, I think.
Is that what it was? I don't know. All I know is there are times that people don't like Simon Cowell because he can
I actually like him.
But he can
He's
be
honest.
kind of blunt and he can be kind of rude. But he just donated over $32,000 to close down a South Korean dog meat farm. Now, first of all, I didn't even know that was a thing.
I
Did
didn't
you
know that was a thing.
So it is apparently a thing. But he donated some money. He's a tough guy on TV, and maybe isn't always the nicest.
Oh my gosh, he is such a softie. I've
got a soft
seen him
spot
talk
for
about
puppies.
his kid,
Yeah.
and yeah, he's a nice guy. He just plays a tough guy on TV.
Well, there was a dog meat farm in South Korea that he recently paid $32,640 to shut it down. And the donation to this group saved over 200 dogs from this farm. They're going to be transported to shelters in the United States and Canada and the United Kingdom and the Netherlands, where they're going to go on to find loving forever homes. It's a cool story. I've got a link here. He inspired fans to match his gifts, saying, hey, if you guys donate, whatever you donate, I'll match that. And then it added up to, his chunk, $32,640.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's the 13th dog meat farm that has been closed by humane societies, and it resulted in over 1,400 dogs being rescued. So, again, I didn't even know this was a thing, but apparently it is. I've got a link to the story if you'd like to know more. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.